Joining me today is New Hampshire State Senator Dan Feltes. Dan, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on, John.
Hey, so many issues. I guess the one that's currently in the hot sort of that we're really talking about a lot is right to work legislation. I think I know what your take is, but what's your take on that legislation?
So, the existing, it's important to lay out what the existing law is. That gets lost in some of these debates sometimes, John. So, under existing law, no one is forced to join a union. No worker is forced to join a union. However, unions under existing law have a duty of fair representation of all the workers in the bargaining unit, whether or not the worker has joined the union. So, if
I'm in the bargaining unit, if I'm, let's say I'm a janitor and a union represents the janitor.
Yep.
And I say, I don't want to be a janitor, I don't want to join the union.
Correct.
But I'm still a janitor working for that company. That union's representing me whether I wanted it or not.
That union is going to bargain for better wages and benefits for you, whether or not
I'm a member or not.
Whether or not you go to the union meetings and that kind of thing. So, and join the union. So, the way it works is since you're part of the union, the small costs considered agency fees attributable to the cost of bargaining, having staff to bargain, the collective bargaining for better wages and benefits. You pay a small cost to that union because you benefit from the bargaining of the union. And so what this bill does is says unions can't charge any of these costs. So that weakens the ability of unions to function, weakens the ability of unions to collectively bargain. And I think in this environment, we got to be making it, we shouldn't be making it harder for workers to get better wages and benefits, especially in New Hampshire, where we have the highest growing rate of income inequality in the nation, the highest growing rate of income inequality in the nation. We need to be supporting our workers, supporting working families, not making it harder for them, and that's what this bill does.
Okay, so I want to unpack two things, just to be clear. So currently, if my union dues were $10 a month, I have no idea what they are, and I'm sure it's different in different unions, but just hypothetically.
Yep.
And that would cover, say, $5 of agency fee, which is the bargaining component. Currently in the law is, if I didn't want to be a part of that union, I would still have to pay the $5, but not the 10.
Right. If that's the way it was structured in your union, you wouldn't have to pay the 10.
So if I'm in the union, I get 10 and 5 of it goes to the agency. And if I'm not in the union, currently I have to pay the 5, but I don't have to pay the other 5.
Correct. The other 5 may go for different community advocacy,
whatever
else
the union
might do.
believes is appropriate.
But in terms of that, that agency fee, and it's different for every union, that goes to the actual having bodies there to negotiate, collectively bargain for better wages, better benefits,
yep.
Safety conditions, that kind of thing. The sort of things that are really important for, if you're a janitor or an electrician, or if you're a firefighter or a police officer, those types of things, are important to every worker. But, especially if you're working in a job that has some unsafe conditions and so on and so forth. Those are the type of things that go into that collective bargaining. And by this bill, it's Orwellian named right to work. I don't even know where they came up with that, other than it seems like something that.
Well, somebody has. I mean, it's been there for decades, but it's.
Somebody focus
It's a good
group.
PR. It's a good PR
thing. Yeah.
But that's so much of legislation on both sides of the aisle have nice PR sounding.
Yeah, obviously you want to, that's how people try to pitch things. But whatever. I mean, it's Orwellian in its name and in its effect. It really harms workers. It makes it harder for workers to get by. And I think we ought to be focusing on ways to empower our workforce, especially, like I said, we have the highest growing rate of income inequality in the nation.
That was the other piece. What do you mean by that, the rate of income inequality?
So income inequality is growing around the country, but we have the highest growing rate of income inequality. So income inequality is growing faster in New Hampshire than any place else. We have good economic conditions, John, but the wages and benefits accruing to low to middle income as compared to the top, that disparity is growing faster in New Hampshire than any other place. And what we need to do is invest and look out for low to middle income families, and expand opportunity for everyone, not just the wealthy or well-connected few. We need to make sure that we close the opportunity gap for low to middle income kids, including investing in early childhood education.
So let me stop you there because we're out of time. And when we return, we're going to talk about the budget and some elements that we might invest in the future. So please stay with us.